creepy. It's like the part of Wayne's World when Garth's all by himself and Wayne's not there. I think it's all awkward. Fuck. That's how it is in the dead space before my fucking podcast starts. Every time I start it in the dead space before my podcast is like that time in Wayne's World where Garth's like, Wayne's not here. And he's just like all freaking out. He's like really uncomfortable. He's really stiff and rigid and stuff. And I have those times where I'm not stiff and rigid. I am not that guy. I am just not the stiff and rigid type. I'm always a little bit more aloof now. These days, I am more aloof. Because, holy holiday, hangover. Seriously, Batman. I don't ever drink. I don't drink alcohol, and I still don't to this day. It's been like 4.5 years now, probably. Yeah, 4.5 years. Now, we're heading into a new year, so I'm not drinking my way into it. But 2023 has been a trip, man. It's been something. It's been really something. So I'm going to reflect back on that a little bit. I'm going to talk about what's going on, relevantly. We're going to talk about things. So welcome to another episode. My last episode of 2023 of 21st Century Rocker Mom Podcast with me, your host, Tana Candler. I'm here with you. And it's the end of the year. It's actually the last day of the year where I am. When this is getting to you, it'll likely probably be the first or the second day of the year where you are. So, like I say, this is my last one filmed and recorded in 2023. Let's start with the controversy, shall we? Because there was a controversy in the metal world, a big stirring in the metal world. And I'm here to clear up those rumors. As I get closer and closer to getting back on stage and performing live again, I get, chitter chatter in the DMs, tweeting in the DMs, what's talking. So I get, a lot of DMs, and they're asking me a lot of different questions, stuff like that. And I am here to tell you, honestly, there's no beans to spill. There's no surprises around the corner. There's no weird legs of tours that I'm playing or anything like that. I'm not playing with Kitty. And I've told some of you in DMs, because some of you DM'd me and been like, oh, if you're at this show in this town, just kind of assuming that I'm going back on stage, I'm going back on stage with Kitty. That if you're playing this leg, it's in my town or whatever, I'll be there. I'm like, oh, well, you be there, but don't be there on my account. I won't see you because I'll be here. They're like, oh, I didn't know you weren't playing. I'm like, no, I'm playing with something. I'm doing a different project. Oh, so this is cool. So I received several messages of the same fashion. So I had to clear it up because, I'm 1,000% playing live again. Yes. But is it with Kitty? No. It's going to be with some other folks, maybe that you haven't seen. And there's no 2024 reunion surprise that's coming around the corner that I'm going to scare you with or anything like that. I think I had my last gasp at the London Music Hall, which is filmed, which is live. You can see the London Music Hall live, Kitty at the London Music Hall, with all the lineups from all the years and iterations of Kitty. I think for me, that was my last gasp, because I was super pregnant and whew, I was big. And I was it was a lot. And I rocked out hard. I want to be remembered that way, as rocking out that hard, because I don't think I would rock out that hard anymore. Maybe not metal wise. I don't know. Maybe I would. Maybe I'd try and melt your fucking face off. You never know. But that's a special night. It was such a special night with all the iterations of Kitty and all the years of Kitty that I don't think that personally myself I could ever top that with Kitty. So I'm just yeah, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to try. Everything has an expiry date, unfortunately, and some things just can't be duplicated. It is what it is. Things move on and things evolve, and that's just life, and it's good. Pop, punk. Yeah, I do a lot of pop and punk, and that's kind of what I'm playing now. Fuck, but honestly, I'm a Swiftie. I will tell you that I've learned every fucking Taylor Swift song over the holiday season. I learned every Taylor Swift song. So fight me if you don't like Taylor Swift. Because the Swifties will come for you. They do. No, but I can say that we watched the Eras tour. Oh my God. It was something else. Taylor Swift really knows how to put on a show. I was super impressed. I was crying like a little bitch, like through most of that, through like the Eras tour. It's so good because she just like plays through like literally her eras. You know, it was a really well planned tour. It was really smart. From everything from her outfits to her backdrop and her dancers and every moving piece. Taylor puts on a show. And speaking of good shows, I want to pause here and let you all know not to get your dander up, because this is not a show, judging by the title, like, you know, that is anti-America by any means. I'm actually like kind of like worried about some of my like American friends. Like I have some concerns and worried about them, so I'm going to let everybody know what they are. But this is not in any way like anti-America or anti-American. So there's your warning, and you get it right now. But anyways, speaking of things that are super American as apple pie, well, Taylor Swift, obviously. I have a lot of respect for her. She just kind of like, she's classy. She stays in her own like lane and shit. She keeps her side of the street like so fucking clean, to quote her own self. From T-Swizzle, her own self. But like she breaks up with a guy or a guy breaks up with her and it's bad. It's bad, it's bad, it's bad, it's bad. So what does she do? She doesn't bitch about it. She writes a song about it and makes it like a bajillion dollars and then goes on tour and it's like, fuck you. And then she dates someone else. Like, you know, the best thing you can do is like write a song or like take it out in a positive way instead of like, you know, burning someone's house down or something or doing something, you know, a little bit less measured. I don't know which way to put it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, but don't go all Lisa Left Eye Lopez on his ass and burn his house down. They're like, that was like amazing, but like still not good. You don't want to burn someone's house down. They could be in it. You know what I mean? So like I say, when it comes to Taylor Swift, I think Karma is her boyfriend. Seriously, really. Karma is totally her boyfriend, but actually she's dating, I think, some guy in Kansas City. I think somebody on a football team. He's got a beard. I know that. He's younger than her. He's cute. And I know that all the guys from like the team are kind of like calling her like Yoko and all this shit. And you know, she's getting shit thrown at her. But like, I feel like it's like, what the fuck can she do like right? Like, she just gave over $550 million, as she should, to her staff and like truck drivers. Like, she gave like life-changing bonuses to people. Like, she'd give them like $100,000 for Christmas if they just like drove for her. Like, just drove her instruments around. Like, that's a life-changing amount of money for like a lot of people. So I mean, she is doing good things and she's not completely choosing profits over people. She's choosing her people, I suppose. But she's giving money to people who need it. I will put it that way. She just writes a song and forgets about the guy. That's what I think is really cool. I think that's really cool. And I think that her boyfriend seems sweet. And I think that they're cute together. And I like Taylor Swift. So if there's a controversy in the metal world about me liking Taylor Swift, there's going to be a problem because I'm Team Taylor big time. So there you go. There you go. It came out. There it is. I had to, like I say, I think she's just a happy, positive person, Taylor Swift. She just seems like genuinely like a good human. Like really, she seems not like too like Hollywood, you know, like just like she hasn't been too brainwashed by the money machine yet. Who knows if it'll happen? I don't know. Speaking of good humans, I saw a lot of good humans this holiday season. A lot! I saw a lot of good humans. I had visits by Christmas present and Christmas past and all kinds of Christmas stuff. Oh my God, fuck. I decided to be fucking crazy and I decided to host a back-to-back New Year's Eve open house, like all day and all of the night. And then I decided to host the New Year's Eve like supper also. And then like that's also like involving like cooking the turkey all fucking day and all that stuff. But then like, and then Boxing Day, like a bio dad had to come over to see like one of my kids. And that was like it's hard to navigate that stuff because I want to do the co-parenting thing. And I'm like a hippie and he's just like, I don't want to co-parent. I'm just like, okay, yeah. All right. Like, you know, Rob and I do the, you know, we do the like cordial thing. Like, hey, would you like a drink? Would you like a cookie? And sometimes other parties can just not share the same ways as you have. They don't pick up what you're putting down really. It's weird. It's hard to navigate, especially with my moods and like neurodivergence and stuff like that. Some family members want to push like fucking buttons and shit. So you have to set strict boundaries for yourself. And I have to set strict boundaries for myself this year and going forward. I have to set really strict boundaries and like put borders around what I want and I don't want. I will cause no shit, but I will take no fucking shit. I will tell you that right now. I'm not going to cause anybody any trouble. I'm not going to make any trouble, but I'm not going to take any trouble either. Fuck that shit. I'm not going to do that. I don't want any of that. I'm zero shit, especially in my own home. New rule. Seriously, when you're in my house, you follow the house rules like everyone in the house does. Don't be presumptuous. Don't be a dink. Use common sense. Manners are fucking cool. And lastly, and this one I mean so sincerely, if you do not have fucking kids, keep your useless parenting advice to your motherfucking self and keep it inside your fucking mouth. Because I want to hear it. I'll tell you, Christmas had my depression. It was like, I was really happy because it was Christmas, but also like you're missing people that aren't here and stuff like that. I was hard without my dad and stuff like that. So my was like, depression was kind of working the graveyard shift a little bit, you know what I mean? So Christmas was difficult to navigate, but I got through it and had a pretty like happy Christmas. But I am not sad to say goodbye to 2023, like with the new year impending on us this evening, you know, and tonight and coming. And speaking of parents, like I say, my dad definitely still made my Christmas magic. He still kind of showed up for me, if I can be a little bit cryptic, I guess. You know, it's just, he brought some of the Christmas magic back into my life that he had, like when I was like a little girl, and he made it like, you know, it'd be like, he'd say it was going to snow the next day or something, because I mean, he'd read the weather forecast, but like, I didn't know that. And then it would snow or something like that. So missing people through the holidays is impossible. And he sent me what I will say is definitely the best gift ever, you know, like ever, like for, not just for the holidays, but like he sent me the best gift like forever, like and ever. Like, so pretty cool. Sent directly by my dad. I will explain soon what gift he sent me, but this is going to kind of be a big one probably for most of you. And believe it or not, there's parts of my life that you don't know about yet. And you know what I mean? I haven't like spilled the beans about. But this is something that's really big, and it's big to me, and it's important to me. It's very close to my heart. And it's very close to my dad. So, and anything that involves my dad, I'm extremely like protective over and stuff like that. So I'm protective over this. And you know, I'll talk about it. I'm coming out of the closet about it slowly. Now, I gotta ask you about something. I want to know about, did you know about this? This is actually some involvement that I have had with Kitty, actually, but like kind of outside involvement. I haven't done anything with this product. However, it's a refreshing involvement. Miss S.J. Jones. So S.J. Jones is a wonderful producer. I've had S.J. Jones on the show before. She's a wonderful lady from South Africa originally. She lives in the United States now. She's a producer and songwriter and musician, and she's just multifaceted and multi-talented. Like, it's just one of the strongest ladies I've ever like known, and she's fantastic. And she and her band We Are Pigs collaborated on this beer that was brewed in, believe it or not, Calgary, Alberta, Canada. By who? Ooh, onefortheroadbrewing.com, One for the Road Brewing. You can see them. It's called Kitty Pig. It's cold as hell right now. And it says Saskaberry Blonde. And it's 0.5% alcohol volume. So it's a non-alcoholic beer, because they know I don't drink. S.J. Jones knows I don't drink. It's purposefully obstinate. The Kitty Pig strikes terror in the heart of those who don't like it loud. A deafening, delicious, non-alcoholic Saskaberry Blonde, a heavy metal hybrid of flavors, including Saskatoon berries, which are like indigenous to around like Saskatoon and Calgary and all that stuff, hops and barley, so you know it'll be fresh. It's brash and legendary with a hint of sass, just like its creators. True, very true. If you'd rather crucify than learn, your point is moot. Everyone else, you'll love this non-alcoholic offering from Kitty and We Are Pigs and One for the Road. You're going to love it. So a lot of people like won't understand those inside jokes, but if you do, that's why we're friends. So, this collab. It's like money. It's like, it's a non-alcoholic beer. It's cool. So I opened it. It smells really good. It smells really fruity. I haven't had any yet because I haven't had any through the holidays. A few of my family members had a couple of them. They just thought they were wonderful. Ooh, that's nice. That's really nice. Yeah, I like that. That's really good. So I want to thank S.J. Jones. And honestly, it was delivered by designateddrinks.ca. And Designated Drinks is amazing. They brought it right to the door. They'll bring you anything you want. And it comes in like in a box. And it was cold when it got here. And it wasn't even a cold day. So you want to check out designateddrinks.ca. They're a fantastic service to deliver that right to your door. And you can get anything. I would highly recommend getting some of that Kitty Pig beer because honestly, it's fantastic. I like it a lot. It's really nice and fruity and light. If you like a nice light blonde beer, it's nice. And it's not too hoppy or anything like that. It doesn't taste like an IPA or anything like that. It's like a nice blonde thing. You know, I watched Leave the World Behind on Netflix, not knowing there was a book. I know there is now. Wow. It kind of like underlined my thought process a little bit. I'm not going to lie. Like watching that film definitely made me feel secure and weird in my thought process because I was like, oh, I mean, like everyone is always so divided, like big time. And we're always like painting people with the same brush. And that film underlined it for me. I was like, wow. So all the puppets, the political puppets, the Matrix, the overlords, the reptile people, the control, all that stuff. What? Like, seriously, that movie underlined my one point. And I said this before, like, what if no one's in control and we're just kind of like left? Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Like, what if no one's in control? Like, what if no one's in control at all and we're just left to our own devices? What if somebody started this and was like, okay, assholes, well, you can finish it because I don't feel like it. I'm not fucking going to be around when it is time to finish it. Did you ever think about that? You ever think about that there's no one in fucking control? Who knows? The Obamas paid for it, so I don't know. A lot of bullshit went on during the Obama administration. A lot of fucking shit. There's a lot of persecution of people during the Obama administration. Remember that the no-fly list, I think, came around the Obama administration. There's a lot of Islamophobia that the Obama administration let slide, to be perfectly honest. That's kind of shitty. But like a long time ago, my dad cautioned me with serious like words. Like I was young. I was in my teens and late teens, like 19 probably. He was like, Tanya, you got to figure it out. And you're smart, and I think you see what's happening. And when it comes down to it, like when it really comes down to like brass tacks, like no one's coming to save you. No one is. Like you have to do it yourself. And the best you're ever going to get from anybody is just like a heads up before, like a warning. You know what I mean? I think we get warnings. I really do. The narratives of that film really, like I say, underlined everything. Like God sent a flood. God was going to flood out a town and a man decided he was going to stay. And God was like, leave the town, everybody, evacuate the town. This man's like, nope, I'm going to stay. I'm going to pray to God. He's going to save me. He's going to get me out of this. So the town evacuates. God floods the town and everybody leaves except this guy. And a guy in a rowboat comes to save him. And he's like, come on with me, brother. Let's go. I'm going to get you out of here. There's a crazy flood. Let's go. And he says, no, I'm going to stay here and pray and God will get me out of this. And the flood rises and the flood rises and the flood rises and the flood rises. And God sends a helicopter to help this guy. The guy in the helicopter says, get in, man, get in. He goes, no, I'm just going to stay here, brother. Thanks a lot, but I'm going to wait it out. God's going to save me. The guy fucking drowns, dies. And he gets to heaven. And gets to see God or whatever, and he's angry with God. And he said, you didn't save me. And like God said basically to him, like, well, I sent you a boat and you like rejected it. I sent you a helicopter and you rejected that. Like I told you to get out of the town, you rejected that. Like what else do you want? Like the best you can ever really get is a fucking warning. I mean, eventually, like you're not invincible. That's just the way that it is, you know? So he stayed anyway. having blind faith in something. You really gotta like believe in something wholeheartedly and make sure it's gonna work before you follow through with the plan, because that shit is crazy town. It's really scary because like all the like death to America stuff in that movie, I have a lot of American friends, and like after watching that film, it also underlined how worried I get for like friends of mine in America and stuff like that. It's just considering the current state of things generally in the world, I really worry about them because of their government and what it does on their behalf. Now, America may have a lot of power, but at the same time, right now, like as a collective, not the people of America, but the government is pissing a lot of people off. Big time. What they're doing is fucking pissing a lot of people off. And they're making a lot of enemies. I was even like watching the other day, it was like Jimmy Carter from a long time ago. I mean, Jimmy Carter. He's talking about what Israel has always done to Palestine and why America needs to stay out of Israel and why he was staying out of Israel and things like that. And let me tell you the story of a girl. I'm going to tell you a story of a girl who cried grieving down the whole world. No, I'm just kidding. Let me tell you the story of a girl. So this is a story about a girl that I know personally in Israel. So we reconnected a little bit before like October, like to be connected like in like the summertime. And we went to school together like a long time ago. And I find out that she's always been like a Christian like missionary, and she moved to Israel because she met an Israeli guy, converted to Judaism, and lives near the West Bank but in Israel. And she's over there doing her thing, and she started posting the most like horrific shit on Facebook. And then I'd post pro-Palestine stuff because I kind of know what's going on over there, and Israel's trying to occupy Palestine. I don't know if you know what's going on, but I'm going to tell you, even if you're not. But this girl, she's posting really obnoxious shit, and then like posting pictures of like her husband with his like assault rifle. He's like in the IDF, like, and her kid. I'm just like, wow, that those two things don't go together like in a picture. It's just a lot, right? It's a lot. Like the war over there is a lot for a lot of people. And it's crazy because this was never about like defense. And like I told her that, and she just kept being like, but Hamas, but Hamas, but Hamas, but Hamas. I'm like, but Hamas doesn't give you like carte blanche to run over everybody. Like you can go get Hamas without killing innocent people. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's crazy now. They're taking organs from people, and Israel, the IDF shot like 3 of its own Israeli hostages. Like what the fuck is going on? Like people are starting to see through the bullshit now. And a lot of people who are standing on the side of Israel are kind of not now, because they're kind of seeing what genocide looks like up close. Because honestly, this was never about defense against terrorism. It never was. It was about occupation. It is about control. It's about taking like ultimate control over another side. That's what apartheid is. One side taking ultimate control over the other. And that's what they're trying to do. Depending where you stand, do you ever feel like you've been warned like a lot? Like a lot, or maybe distracted, whatever way you look at it. But like I feel like we have been warned like crazy, like that we should know about, you know, stuff that's going on. I feel like there have been stuff. American kids, like right now, like this is crazy. Like American kids are drowning in debt. Like I have so many friends whose kids are in a lot of school debt. And what's happening? You know, America is paying for people to go over to Israel if they want to, if they're Americans, and Israeli people, if they want to join the IDF, they'll pay for all their school. The American government will pay for it, while kids are drowning in debt, like in America. I'm like, what? Like, you got to take a little bit of issue for that, because like, that's kind of crazy. The next time I hear someone who supports Israel killing thousands of kids a day, you know, and in Palestine, you know, this is where the average life expectancy of someone is 18 years old. Next time I hear someone complaining about it and us giving them too much money to other countries, you can check your fucking self. Because literally, like, America's giving its money away to Israel to pay for people's schools so they can kill little kids. And that's what they're getting money for. And it's true. We're only learning about like all kinds of things and different things now. And I'm going to say something that's probably going to fucking offend you. So you can turn it off now or not. But this is true. I'm going to say this right now. I don't really give a shit. Israel does not get carte blanche and does not get a free pass for genocide. Because, I mean, let's just face it. Jews have had genocide committed against them. But Israel doesn't get a free pass for genocide and calling it something else just because the Holocaust happened. Like there, I said it. You can't play the Holocaust card forever and ever and ever. It's horrible. Yes. Did it happen? Yes. Is it terrible? Yes. Should it have happened? No. But like, holy fuck, you're doing the same thing as Hitler did right now, except worse. You're flooding tunnels where people live. You're starving them to death. You're making sure they're dehydrated. Like there's nothing clean for them. They're put in displacement camps. Like the fuck? Like if you think that that's normal, like I don't know where your heart is because they're so displaced. These are actually displacement camps. There are no families together because they're all bombed apart. It's ridiculous. Like, I don't care. We're only learning about Holodomor now, like which is the Ukrainian Holocaust, where there was like 4 times more Ukrainians killed than there was Jews killed in the Jewish Holocaust. And we're only learning about that now in high school. It's only being implemented in our curriculum like now. That's insane. It's insane. I think what's going on right now is Zionism, big time, because Israel was built, unfortunately, on Zionism, because before 1948, like in 1920, from 1920 on, that area there was all known as Palestine. It was under British rule, and then Britain kind of gave Palestine to Israel because it got named that, like Palestine was renamed Israel in 1948 in May. Because the first like word they found there, and this is really normal in cultures, the first word they could like recognize there looked like Israel, so they called it that. So I guess that's, I don't know how it's the Holy Land, but it just became that in 1948. And I know that Jesus was not born in 1948. I'm just saying. But honestly, I'm just saying. Israel wants to misinform you of the fact that not all Semitic peoples are white. Not all Jewish people are white. Are you crazy? There are all kinds of people of every color of the rainbow that are Jewish and that stand with Palestine, not with Israel, because this is all about genocide and making it like a pure sort of race and wiping out as many people as they possibly can, like especially the brown people. And like check on your like brown and black friends and your BIPOC friends. They're not doing okay because this is bullshit. This is really bad. It's really, really bad. All this shit, like I say, the only reason, like, the other Holocaust got more, I don't know, airtime, like Hitler got more airtime than Joseph Stalin for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it was just, like, when it happened. I don't know. But, like, all this shit is just so reminiscent of 9/11. And as soon as America announces that anyone is a terrorist, woo! If they say it, if they declare anyone a terrorist, it doesn't matter how many people die. It doesn't matter. Like, look what happened in 9/11. How many people died for terrorists in the Twin Towers with a, Death to America letter? What's really killing America? The government. I'll tell you that right. Are Hamas terrorists? Yes. Are Palestinians and Gazans terrorists? No. Are your pro-Palestinian friends pro-Hamas? No. And that's what this girl was spreading on Facebook really bad. So one day I just kind of told her to fuck off. And she didn't handle it well. So finally I just like deleted her. I was like, there's no talking to this girl. She's like, I'm not sending you this to offend you. I'm like, you are offensive. Like, I'm like, you're sending me like really rude shit. Like, and like page-long diatribes. And I sent them to a few of my friends and they're just like, wow, Tanya, like this is whack. I'm like, it's brainwashing. And you can see it on like some of the TV stations there and stuff like that. It's crazy what anyone will believe. But like I say, wrong place, wrong time, big time. People are just minding their business and then people come in. They were at the right place. It was supposed to be the right time. But someone made it wrong for them. It's not cool. The Western world is now kind of just figuring out what's really going on. And it was all this like, I stand with Israel stuff, like in the beginning, until we started to wake up and see for ourselves, like, you know, what's going on. And like, we're burnt out seeing pictures and videos and stuff of what's going on in Palestine and Gaza, like day after day. And like, I'm tired, like I'm burnt out, like, you know what I mean? But like, everyone's tired of seeing pictures of dead babies. And I hear you, like I totally hear you. And people stop posting, right? Because like they're sad and they get uncomfortable and they get tired of doing it. But honestly, like we can't stop posting about stuff like this. And we can't stop educating people about things like this. And we can't stop looking for knowledge about things like this. Because I mean, if you're not informed, get informed. I know that you're tired. And these photos for us, you know, are really scary and they're disturbing and everything. But there's somebody else's reality. Somebody else is facing this every single day. It's somebody else's living hell, to be perfectly honest. So I think we can suck it up here in the Western world. I really do. Like I say, I'm not like celebrating noise crackers and blowing out kazoos and everything tonight for New Year's while there's bombing going on all around the world and like little kids are dying. I'm not down with that. That's just not my jam. And like I say, you're paying for it. We're paying for it. Even like you're paying for it through your taxes. Put down the McDonald's, put down the fucking Starbucks, and stop buying bombs when you're buying burgers and coffee. Just stop. When I see like IDF soldiers, like the soldier people, like all the whole soldiers in the army and the IDF soldiers, like there's a whole group of them dressed as Santa Claus for Christmas, just spraying like bullets and bombs over children and like schools and stuff like that and daycare centers and children and mothers and stuff like that. I just like, that's where my humanity like broke and I just couldn't take it anymore. I'm like, I can't handle this anymore. I had to say something. So yeah, I've not been too loud on this, and karma could be a real bitch for America. Like honestly, being in Israel right now and supporting them as much as they do, and Joe Biden just being like, you know, there's no line Israel can cross. There's no red line. There's nothing Israel can do, you know, that's going to make me, you know, mad enough to, you know, pull out of Israel. I don't know, Grandpa Joe. You better get the fuck out of there. It's actually crazy. I actually saw Instant Karma. Speaking of karma. Karma is my boyfriend. But karma is hilarious. Karma is a bitch. I actually saw Instant Karma in action over the last little while. I had a situation with a friend where their like spouse cheated on them or whatever. And they were like, well, if you don't like it, just like cheat back. And so like they did. And then they told their spouse, and their spouse flipped the fuck out. Like flipped out, gave them permission to cheat. And then when they did, with permission. So it's not even really cheating. It was like permission with a hall pass. While they used their hall pass, their partner lost their banana pile. Just lost it. So I sent them a message and I was like, you know, good for you. Way to go. Like, fuck that. That's bullshit. Like, it's bullshit. It's a close friend too. So, like, I just don't tempt somebody, you know what I mean? Don't tell them, you know, I did this too, so now you should go and do it, and then we'll be even. Now I'm going to get mad at you. Weird. Not good. Not good. Karma's weird. Congratulations on splitting up with your girlfriend. I'm glad you guys don't have any kids. And congratulations on getting a new partner. And I hope you'll be very happy together. All I know is that. I literally went outside and smoked 1,000 milligram blunt to celebrate this situation for my friend, because they've been miserable for like the last like better part of a year in this relationship. So they've only been like in a relationship for like a year, but just not good. So it was good to see them not be together anymore. It was good. Good for everybody. Scared the shit out of my mother-in-law. Scared the shit out of her with my mock-up tattoos. Because I hadn't got real tattoos, but I wasn't wearing sleeves. But I had those mock-up tattoos before I get my tattoo for my dad and one for the kids, like one on each, like kind of bicep area. And like just not anything too big. It was just a small piece on each side. But I had them on and I just put them on. My mother-in-law came over and she hadn't seen me in a week. And she was like, Jesus, those aren't real, are they? Holy shit. And I was just like, no, they're not real. They're not real. They're not real. They're not real. Don't worry, Mom. They're not real. They're fine. Even my mom said they were real. I'm like, no, Mom, they're not real. Like, where am I going to get the time right now? But I'm, anyways, that's happening. But it's cool. I always want to see if there was, any like changes I want to make. And there's changes in the color and stuff like that, and the shape and stuff like that. And one from the kids and one from my dad are totally different and whatever. But one thing is good for 2024. I'm ready for a good 2024. I'm ready to rock it out. I'm ready for no resolutions because I don't do that. I think resolutions are stupid and petty, and you just hold yourself to an unreasonable standard. Instead of having resolutions, I'm working on a few things. I'm working on my anger because that's always a thing. Like I got like my mindfulness coach says, work on your anger, Tanya. And when do you do it? You do it in the moment when you're angry. It's not easy, but I'm doing it. So more self-awareness, that is for sure. Working on that angry little bug inside me. And then one also is like body shaming, but like myself. Like I don't do it to other people like at all. I've never been like, oh, that girl's shirt's too small. She must have bought a size too small. That's just one way I've never been. I never body shame anyone else. But when it comes to looking in the mirror myself, then sometimes I can get body shaming, which is not good. But I've done it before. So I'm going to try to be less, like that and not be my own worst critic because bodies are beautiful in every form. And that's just the way that it is. Everybody's pretty. I find skin is beautiful and it's so expressive. So just be who you are. I think the human form is fascinating. I love to remember, I have to remember that mine is beautiful too. So that's like my New Year's like thing, making sure that body positivity is a big thing. Somatic exercise is a huge thing. Amazing. Like relaxation and better shape for like shows. Like I don't want to get ripped or anything like that, but it's like steaks, weights, the Peloton bike, getting back to jogging, not being as crazy as I am. Like, fuck. I have to slow down a little bit. But then, like, I have to have a diet change. But I also want to, like, live longer. You know what I mean? So I have to have a diet change because, I drink too much pop. That's true. Too much soda. Sugar is not good for you. See you later, kidneys. It's fucking hard, though. Quitting smoking is easier than quitting soda, Post Malone. Seriously, I'd rather quit smoking than quit drinking soda any day of the week. So much easier because it's like 3-day hump with smoking. But like soda, you want it forever. You lust after it. And when you see it after, you still want it. So I have been doing somatic exercises. These are like rocking exercises with my hips to get like trauma out and stuff like that, and like sad stuff and anxiety. And you like cry a lot, man. Oop, that beer gave me a burp. Woo, hello, excuse me. But like seriously, it makes you like lose your shit. Like I cried a lot after. Seriously, just not good. Speaking of like almost crying, it was like 3:30 a.m. and I was sleeping in bed. I fell asleep in a catsuit. And I found this catsuit to be kind of like restricting. So I had to like wrestle myself out of it because I felt like it was strangling me. The actual catsuit was strangling my body. So I had to get out. So I got out of the catsuit. And then I was just sleeping in my underwear. And then the dog started barking. And he needed to go out. So I was like, okay, what do you need? So I had to like wrestle my body back into this fucking catsuit. Get outside. Like it actually looked like a cat. Like it was Sylvester and Tweety get a cat. Like a cat had a tail. Everything. The whole nine. And so I had to get outside. I was outside with Willie Nelson by the light of the fucking silvery moon, like 3-something in the morning. Moon shining on me. I'm just like, I'm going to smoke a joint. It's like dark out. Whatever. Some animal's going to think I'm its fucking mother. This is not going to be good. If some animal thinks I'm mother, this is not going to be good. So you're going to spray me because it thinks I'm a skunk because it's a black and white cat. Or maybe it's a trash pan and it's going to get me. I don't know what it was going to be. So it was not fun. It was just a good time to just smoke a blunt. So I did. Then the funniest townie conversation happens. What's a townie? Someone who's lived in town basically all their life and kind of knows town. Like around this town, London, Ontario town. And I didn't want to bring it up because of what people might assume. But like, I don't care. And if you ASSUME, assume makes an ass out of you and me, just DM me. A few people have DM'd me today. I am very much still, like, I'm not single. However, let's clear that up because that's funny. But however, I've had friends, and I'm having friends right now that are dating kind of like 40 and like after. And like what it's like for them. Like, what is it like dating after 40 in a city where everyone knows you and you know everyone? Like, you know everyone. All your old, like, loves and all your old flames and all your old places. All, like, everything. Everybody's in one room. I feel like your whole high school, like, everybody, like, everything revolves around, you see everybody, you know what I mean? Like, it's, where do you take your vagina to retire? Where? You don't want to go to some dive bar, because I'll tell you, seriously, at some point, bar meat, you know, just going to the old bar, the neighborhood bar. Bar meat is just bar meat. It's just street meat. And bar meat is all, like, pretty much created the same. Like, I'm not going to lie. Sometimes, like, you know, when you get to that point in your life, I'm not there. I am so not there. But sometimes you get to the point where, like, you know, face has no face and just whatever, and you're not looking at the mantle, you're poking the fire. It could be a St. Bernard down there and you wouldn't care. But, like, I care. But, like, dating must be strange, like, after 40 in this city, especially the city, because, like, the biggest small town you've ever lived in, all the throwback is, like, you've definitely slept with people that your friends have slept with. That's the weirdest thing about, like, London. There's, like, too many degrees of, like, 2 degrees of separation, not like 9. Just like you end up with the guy who did too much, like, blow at Call the Office, you know what I mean? Who you, like, made fun of when you were a kid. Not good, not good. London, like I say, is the biggest city that's actually a small town. We call each other townies, and I'm kind of the reason that people call each other townies, like, around here, because I started calling people townies. I'd be like, oh, you're a townie, you're a townie. So it really caught on. I don't know if it caught on before that, but I don't know. I also am, like, I'm the kind of person, not only am I a townie, I'm the kind of person that I'm also, like, a lovey kind of person. I'm the kind of person who, I don't know, it's just being an Aquarius or what, but I fall in love, like, really hard. Like, I love, like, really hard, and it's weird. Like, it's hard to love as really hard as I do, because, so, like, for me, if I went to date in this town, if it went tits up, yikes, because everyone would know. I mean, what do you do in that situation? Like, it's just crazy. I think you still got to see the person, so it's just, it can get awkward if it doesn't end on a good note. So watch out. I'm going to create an app. I swear, I'm going to create an app for dating. And it's going to be like, check off the people that you've banged, like we all might know, like people you might have in common on Facebook, people who might have already banged, like that this person's banged. And then you got to enter your age, your birthday, and then you got to enter your body count. That's just for, like, sexual health reasons. And then I'll match you with somebody. And yeah, that's what I'll do. Just body counts and boners. That's what it'll be. And speaking of boners, I was listening to Next with Rob, and he's never heard the song, like, Too Close. Like, you know you're making it hard for me. But we were watching it on a movie, and that's why we're listening to it. And then I put on the record or whatever. And then, but, like, thanks to subtitles, I didn't know what the words were to that song. They used to play it all the time by Next. Like, in my dances when I was, like, in the 8th grade, I was young. Now I really question the DJs at school. That song's about boners. Like, it's talking about poking someone in the leg with your dink and stuff. Like, I'm trying to put it, like, you know, mildly, but Jesus, like, you're making it hard for me. You're dancing real close, and something's poking through my pants, and I didn't get it when I was in grade 8. I get it now. I mean, I got it when I was grade 8. There's always something poking through someone's pants. Boys will be boys. Like, at that time, that's what it was like. Boys would be boys. They all had boners. But, like, seriously. Rob hadn't heard it, and thanks to closed captioning, he pissed himself the entire time. He just laughed his ass off. The kids at school, I'll tell you, we're talking about the kindy pen enclosure. So at my kid's school, there's, like, a pen. It's like, it's almost like Palestine. It's like an open-air prison. Like, they put the kids in kindergarten in it so they can't run off for the day. And, but so they help one teacher round up, like, bad kids for the kindy pen. I guess he calls it the chicken coop. And he gets the kids for gym to round up the bad kids and put them in the pen and put them in the chicken coop. So they have to get the bad chickens. So my daughter tells me this, and I almost fell off my chair because it was so funny. She's telling me, oh, this one teacher always says this. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so funny. I'm like, it's kind of cute. I think it's really cute. It's really, like, strange how life imitates art, imitates war. It's so strange how almost like the level of oppression is set by the oppressor. Like, right now, the oppressor is, like, Israel. And they're setting the level of oppression for Palestine. They're setting that as a precedent. It's like, how can you get any lower than this? But I don't know. It's always hard standing on the right side of like history, and sometimes you take a lot of shit, and you take a lot of flack and a lot of like, kickback for it. But you know, you got to stand for humanity. If you are standing for humanity, it doesn't matter if you stand alone and totally by yourself. It really doesn't, because you might be exhausted, and I am too. But like seriously, that's how we hate things and hate people, and that's how we let hate in, and that's how we let inevitably how we let hate win. It's not cool when we like stop having conversations, when we stop listening, when we stop loving each other, when we let hate be louder than love. That's just not good, and we can't let that happen. We can't let hate get louder than love and speak to us louder than love does, because we want to see love multiply and hate come crashing down. Do you want to see that happen? Because I do. Me too. Build a longer table. Like I'm saying, build a longer table. I've said this before. Not a higher fence. Like, don't do that. Don't divide each other. I said it before, but it bears repeating. We're all neighbors in this world, and we live beside each other, like in one way or another. Like we really live beside each other on this earth. And if I rule the world, like we'd have empathy and peace and access and food and clean water and equality and medicines and healthcare and equal rights for everybody and like racial equality, and I'd end racism and homophobia and Islamophobia and xenophobia and fascism and the patriarchy and sexism and anti-Semitism. And because you ask your marginalized friends, like I said before, ask your marginalized friends and your BIPOC friends. They're not okay. They're actually not doing good. So I don't rule the world. So that's goals for 2024. I don't know. Because I don't rule the world right now. But if I did, you know, things would be allotted into different slots. But I don't. I once told my mom a long time ago as a kid that I wanted to be queen of the world. She was like, Tina, I don't know what you want to grow up and be. Because she's like, I was acting a fool about something. And I was like, I want to be queen of the world. She was like, Tina, there is no queen of the world. There's a queen of England, but there's no queen of the world. And I remember saying to her, there isn't yet. So that is goals. There's still time. There's still time. It's never too late to be queen of the world. I have lots of time to introduce gentle, soft hugs and a nice, gentle takeover of the world with love, and to stomp out hate completely. I have lots of time to do that. Take that to the new year with you. Take that to the new year. Take hugs and kisses and all the love with you, because love is seriously like the bridge to everything. It seriously is. I'm learning that more in the years that come, and for the new year, definitely that's the goal, and that's kind of like the headline. Love is the bridge, big time for 2024. So be good to yourself, be good to each other, love yourselves, love each other. You know, give the people you love a hug and then love them very much, hold them close. Be a good human being. That's, you know, all you can do. Until next year. That's weird to say. You know where I'm at. On Instagram, I'm at 21st Century Rocker Mom. At, you know, on TikTok, I'm the same. I'm at 21st Century Rocker Mom. At YouTube, I'm at Tanny Candler Channel. And wherever you stream stuff, you can catch me and 21st Century Rocker Mom podcast there. Until then, I will see you next year. Be good to each other.